Have you ever looked around at your life and wondered, how did I get here? It's not in a bad way, not because life fell apart, but because somewhere along the way, the days became predictable. The routines became familiar, and life started feeling more like automatic than intentional. That's exactly what happened to me. Hi, I'm Teresa, and welcome back to Beyond Default, where we explore what it means to move from living on autopilot to living intentionally. In my last video, I shared how retirement forced me to face a difficult truth. I had become comfortable, not peaceful, just comfortable. And after that realization, I found myself asking a question I could not ignore. How did this happen? How did someone who had lived through so many beautiful experiences, challenges, victories, and changes slowly drift into autopilot? The answer wasn't obvious at first, but looking back, I can see it now. For most of my adult life, I was busy doing what many of us do. I raised my daughters. I helped with my grandchildren. I worked hard. I managed my responsibilities and solved problems, focusing on what needed to be done. And honestly, I wouldn't change those years for anything. They were very meaningful. They shaped who I am. But when life becomes centered around responsibilities, it's easy to put yourself on the back burner, not intentionally, just gradually, almost without noticing. The truth is, default living doesn't happen all at once. It's subtle. It happens one routine at a time, one repeated thought at a time, one familiar habit at a time, until eventually what was once a conscious choice becomes an unconscious pattern. For me, it wasn't that I chose autopilot. I simply stopped questioning the direction that I was already moving, and little by little, familiarity became a comfort. Then retirement happened, and something unexpected happened with it: space. For the first time in a long time, I had space to think. I had space to reflect. I had space to notice the things about myself that had been hidden beneath years of activity. And the more I reflected, the more I realized I wasn't just retired. I had become disconnected from intentional living. I had been living from old patterns. I had been living from old routines. I had been living from old assumptions. On the surface, everything looked fine, but deep down, I felt something was seriously missing. I began to realize I wasn't excited about what came next. What I've come to understand, though, is that awareness doesn't arrive with fireworks. It arrives quietly, usually in the form of a question or a pause or a realization in my case. And that realization for me was simple. I had been living more by default than by intention. But the good news is, the moment we become aware of a pattern, we have the opportunity to change it, not overnight, not perfectly, but intentionally. In my next video, I want to share what I discovered about what I now call the two conditions of living, the difference between living by default and living by awareness. If any of this part resonates with you, let me know in the comments. I'll be happy to hear from you. Until next time, remember, live aware and choose intentionally. And welcome to Beyond Default.